Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
These green hills and silver waters are my home. They belong to me and to all of her sons and daughters. May they be strong and forever free. Let us live to protect her beauty and look with pride on the golden dome. They say home is where the heart is. These green mountains are my home. These green mountains are my home. Let us live to protect her beauty and look with pride on the golden dome. They say home is where the heart is. These green mountains are my home. These green mountains are my home.
Hi everyone, this is Mike Smith. I'm here with Erik Johansson. Happy New Year. We're here in Bellows Falls. A cold, clear January day. You can see the weather's fine in the mountains today. Erik and I are going to do another episode of Local Vocals. And how you doing, Erik?
Quite well. How are you
Good,
doing?
good. You have an unusual instrument with you today.
I was looking for a Swedish lute,
Okay.
and I couldn't find one, so I got the nearest thing to it, which is a German Basslaute. It's probably 100 years old anyway,
Wow.
and it is a form in this country we would call it a harp guitar
Okay.
because of
Because
the
it
extra
has.
free-floating strings here, with which you can.
And a lute is actually an almost ancient instrument, isn't it? It went back.
Well, there's a Renaissance lute, and I understand the way the name came about is there's an instrument, a Mid-Eastern instrument, quite similar, called an oud, and so in France, when they say le oud, it turned into lute. So that's how.
Sort of the English.
I think that's how the name came
Yeah.
about.
And the oud, was it
It's similar in
with
shape
with
of the
a
lute.
body
Yeah,
and
and the ouds actually have 3 holes, one here and a couple here.
Oh, interesting.
So I wanted to get a Swedish lute, and I got this. It's played the same way. It's a guitar lute,
Okay.
which means that it's strung and played just like a guitar. On this part, where the frets are, and then it has these free-floating bass strings.
And are you a self-taught lute player then? Did you
well,
learn to
more
play
or
the-
less self-taught guitar player, but I've had a lesson here and there
Uh-huh.
a long time ago.
Where do you find a 100-year-old basso lute?
On eBay.
Really?
German eBay.
Is that
It
right?
came from Germany, yes.
Oh.
And it came with 4 bass strings. So I'm greedy,
Uh-huh. So
and
you
I
want-
added 2 more.
So did you have to-
It used to have 4 tuning machines here, and I used some tuning machines that are made for a mandolin, cut them down, and fit them on, and that's how I did it.
That's amazing. Because it's such a beautiful, it has lots of subtle but very nice carvings, and the way the bridge or the neck is, and
Now,
yeah.
this I added this. I've
in
seen
order to-
pictures, I looked online and saw all kinds of pictures of these things, and many of them had a brace
Mhm,
here,
mhm.
because there's a lot of force wanting to bend this whole
Yeah.
thing. And so I installed this in such a way that I can turn it and adjust it
Oh, neat,
Um,
yeah.
for the tension. There's a big nut down in here that's captive, and this, there's a threaded, added a threaded thing onto this.
Yeah, I would imagine with all of this leverage.
Yeah.
It's quite a, it must try to bend itself.
Yeah, it's still very unstable. I have to tune it frequently, right? Whereas my classical guitar, I can usually go to a gig and pull it out and it's all ready to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so-
But we've had such changing weather for the last few days. I was wondering whether that made a big difference too, because,
Well, it was a mess I haven't touched it in months,
uh-huh.
and it was a mess when I picked it up this morning.
So did you have a specific tune in mind that you wanted to share with
For
us?
this one,
time?
I'd like to sing a little Swedish tune called
Okay.
Vem kan segla.
And
It's,
what-
and the meaning is, verse 1 is, Vem kan segla, who can sail, förutan vind, without wind. Who can sail
Oh.
without wind? Vem kan ro utan åror, who can row without oars? Vem kan skiljas från vännen sin, who can part from a friend, utan att fälla tårar, without falling tears.
Oh,
And the second verse is, I can sail without wind, I can row without oars,
mhm.
but I cannot part from my friend without shedding tears.
Ah,
So-
beautiful.
so-
Well, let's go ahead and try it then.
Okay. Vem kan segla förutan vind? Vem kan rå utan åror? Vem kan skiljas från vännen sin utan att fälla tårar? Jag kan segla förutan vind, jag kan rå utan åror, men ej skiljas från vännen min utan att fälla tårar.
Beautiful, very nice. So how do you find the songs, the traditional Swedish song?
Well, I'm singing with a Swedish choir in Londonderry, Nordic
okay.
Harmony.
Do they?
You don't have to know Swedish, and you don't really have to read music. It helps if you can
I can
sing.
imagine.
If you can sing on tune, that helps. but there are no auditions.
Ah,
And we meet Tuesday evenings at 7 o'clock at
Uh-huh.
the Congregational Church in Londonderry.
every Tuesday
Um,
or once a month?
Yes,
or-
every Tuesday when we're kind of in session, which
Mhm.
will start up again in May.
Oh, okay, so it's
so-
more of a spring, summer sort of thing.
So
Yeah.
if you have Swedish in your background, that's wonderful, but it's not necessary at
Mhm.
all.
But if you
Um,
just want to join in and be part of the choir.
I have
and-
1/16 a Swedish heritage. I'm half Norwegian,
Uh-huh,
but it doesn't matter. If you enjoy, it helps if you enjoy singing foreign languages, which I
Mhm.
do.
mhm.
But anyone is welcome.
That's great.
We're always looking for people.
Good, good. Do you have another song for us on the flute?
I will play another song. I'll play a Norwegian song, but I'll play it on the guitar.
Okay, great. So my neophyte question is, why is there a penny in the strings? Why is there a penny?
My grandson handed my wife and me coins.
Mm-hmm.
They were both 1966 vintage, which is when Allison and I were married.
Oh, wonderful.
So
That's very nice. Glad I asked.
1966 penny.
So what song are you going to do, and can you
This
tell
is-
us about
Per Speelman, Pete the Fiddler.
it?
I heard this song, it was in our household when I was growing up, at least verse one of it was, and it's Per Speelman, han hadde ei eneste ku. Pete the Fiddler had only one cow. Han bytte bort kua, fikk fela igjen. He traded his cow for a fiddle. Du gode gamle fiolin, du fiolin, you good old fiddle. Du fela me, you fiddle mine. And Herr Speelman, han speler og fela hule. He plays and he plays very well. So guttene danser, so the boys dance, og jentene gre, and the girls cry.
Oh,
And the next verse is, Og om jeg er gammel som måse på tre, if I ever get as old as the moss on the trees,
mm-hmm.
nei aldri jeg bytte bort fele for fe, I will never trade my fiddle for a cow. And then the last verse is the same thing, if I ever get as old as the stones under the bridge,
Mm-hmm.
I will never trade my fiddle for a cow.
Let's hear it.
Per Speelman han hadde eneste ku, Per Speelman han hadde eneste ku. Han bytte bort kua, fikk fela igjen. Han bytte bort kua, fikk fela igjen. Du gode gamle fiolin, du fela mi. Per Speelman han spelar och fela hule. Per Speelman han spelar och fela hule. Så guttene danser och jentene gre. Så guttene danser och jentene gre. Du gode gamle fiolin, du fela mi. Og om jeg var gammel som måse på tre, og om jeg var gammel som måse på tre, nei aldri jeg bytte bort fele for fe, nei aldri jeg bytte bort fele for fe. Du gode gamle fiolin, du fela mi. Og om jeg var gammel som steinen er bru, og om jeg var gammel som steinen er bru, nei aldri jeg bytte bort fele for ku, nei aldri jeg bytte bort fele for ku. Du gode gamle fiolin, du fela mi.
Very good. So, in the lyrics, you talk about the boys dance and the girls cry.
Yeah.
Was that showing the range of the fiddle, that it was so joyful at times? that
I've
it
no,
made
I've never been able to figure that one out.
that was. It's a good lyric, though. I like that. That's very nice.
You don't know whether it sounds awful or what?
Yes. Well, I was at first. That's what I was thinking. It's like,
Yeah.
why would the? And then I was thinking, well, maybe it's just he plays so sad and soulfully that the women cry, and he also can play so joyfully that the boys dance.
Well, that must be it.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I hope so.
That's good.
Because the other is sort of like, wow, why would they cry? Anyway, very good. Good. Do you have another song for us, or something you'd like to talk about?
I was thinking the song that I wrote a long time ago about losing a friend.
Uh-huh.
Give it a try. I haven't sung it in a long time.
Okay. Is there a background?
It's
Did you?
called Turn to the Light Within.
Mhm.
When a friend shuts his heart and turns away, and darkness replaces the light of day, a still small voice may be heard to say, turn to the light within, turn to the light within. For the light in you is the light of a star. It shines within, yet burns afar. It lights your way and shows who you are. Blend with the light within. Blend with the light within. And even the one with his back to you may feel the warmth as the light shines through, healing his hurt as yours heals too. For one is the light within, light without and within.
Thank you. Very nice. So, did you write this on losing a friend, or were you
No,
just
it was
inspired
it was
by the-
somebody else's experience,
Yeah,
and I
they
wanted
related to you.
I wanted to, you
Sort of
know,
allay that.
my fix everything mentality wants to
Yeah, I understand that. That's very nice.
give some
Give a-
inspiration.
Yeah, that's very good. Wow. So we're back again, and today is, I guess, different instrument day and here on Local Vocals, because we wanted to talk about some of the different instruments you play, and maybe you could orient us to them and I guess why you're attracted to them, but also I don't think people know about a harp. I mean, I've seen a harp and I've seen you play the harp, but that's pretty much the extent of my knowledge of the harp.
Well, the way I got into playing the harp was I was singing in a small church, and elderly lady approached me after church and said, "Eric, I think your voice might be nice with harp."
Really?
And at the time, I didn't show this, but at the time I kind of thought, harp? But I got thinking about it in the next few weeks, and when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Mm-hmm. And
I met another woman who had used to sing with her harp, and she sold me my first harp.
oh,
And,
okay. And was it
how I
similar
got
in
started.
size to
It's
this?
about the same size. It was actually an unusual harp. It was probably the first fiberglass harp that was ever made by
really?
Melville Clark, who made a lot of a particular kind of harp styled after an Irish harp, a particular Irish harp. So I had that for a while. Eventually I made 3 harps, 2 of them for customers and 1 for myself. And one I got several years later, I got back from a customer because they graduated to a different harp. And but all of those 3 are long gone. And in fact, this I bought new 10 or 15 years ago, and it's better than the ones I made.
Really?
Not by much, but
yeah. But I have all sorts of questions. The material must be key to how the harp sounds, isn't it? I mean, the strings create the tones, but doesn't the sounding board create the tone and the resonance?
It all works together.
Yeah.
The soundboard amplifies its sound.
Okay.
And, now, traditionally, harps were made with spruce, I believe, soundboards, and the grain went this way across here, so you had this very wide piece, glued together, but and that's a wide expanse to have with the grain going this way. So old harps tend to have a lot of cracks there.
Oh.
This is plywood, it's Baltic birch plywood on top, and the rest is maple.
Oh, okay.
Um,
But one of the things I was wondering is, did the fiberglass change did it mute the
The
tone?
fiberglass, it was an experimental. I don't know how many Melville Clark made. But,
Mhm. Because it would seem to
very
have to
unusual
be
harp.
it couldn't flex too much, or it would.
Well,
I mean,
it just,
you
there was
wanted to-
weight in it, and I don't feel that it had the brightness that
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It would seem like mute.
it was, it was muted. It was loud, but I wouldn't say dull, but it wasn't as interesting a
crisp,
sound.
but
Yeah.
yeah. Interesting.
But now they're making carbon fiber harps, which are practically indestructible.
And weighed nothing.
And they're light, and they weigh very, very little. Now, if I had $8,000, I'd get myself a one about this size.
Really.
Yeah.
And do they do the whole
Yep, yeah.
everything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I imagine it's because carbon fiber is much stronger too.
It's very
per weight.
strong. Yeah.
You don't get the flex
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
stretch or the.
You could drop the thing into a swimming pool and pick it up and play it.
So is there a tuning to the harp that is
It's
the
tuned
same or different?
diaphonically. So if right now it's tuned in the key of C. So all of the notes are identical to the light colored keys on the piano.
Okay.
And the way you get the sharps or accidentals is with these sharping levers, and that's why it's called a lever harp. I can take, here's the C string, and if I move the lever on it, it will become C sharp. There's
Okay.
C sharp, and back to C. So,
But you have to set that ahead of time, right? Do you, as you play, can you change the
there are
lever?
people who can change levers while they play. I'm not
Really?
one of them. So
Okay.
I change keys in between songs.
Okay, yeah.
Have to, yeah.
Interesting. Is there, not that you could do a song, but would you just play something so that people could hear the tone and the?
Sure.
That's beautiful.
This harp is a little out of adjustment. Some of the levers buzz a little bit,
Mhm.
but it's not too bad.
It's great. We need Bryce here right now. He was so fascinated this summer remember he was the boy that was in.
Oh, yes.
I had never seen someone as fascinated at first sight by anything, I don't think. He
Yeah.
was just enthralled with the harp, and it was really an interesting thing. I was glad to see he got to see it and see you
Yeah.
play it. That was-
Well, when I'm giving, if I play in church or at a concert or anything, if there are kids there, I always invite them.
to come up and.
If I remember, afterwards to come up and try it.
It's beautiful. Well, I think that's it for today. I think we sort of used up our time. I thank you for coming in, and thank you for being so available and so open to bring your instruments in and help us and educate us. And I don't know where we're going to go next, but I understand you have some wind instruments also that are.
Well, I have the recorders.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. They're wind instruments, aren't they? I'm
Yeah,
very.
right. That's right. Yeah. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
I learn a lot when we sit here and talk because I know very little about instruments and I like to listen to
Pipe
music.
organ is also a wind instrument,
Mhm.
and a lot of times on pipe organs, there'll be a sign that says, "Let everything that hath breath praise the Lord."
Ah, that's cool. That's very nice. Well, thank you, Eric, and I think that's it for today, and I think that's it for Local Vocals. We'll see you again maybe in a week, or yeah, or more, but probably a week. We've been having a hard time getting our rhythm going, but I think we'll
Right.
get
Yes.
there.
Yes, and getting the ideas flowing also.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
great. And that's it for today. See you.
They say home is where the heart is. These green mountains